Hey guys, hope you guys are doing good. I'm a little delayed actually posting this for YouTube, um, but I want to kind of just capture a little bit about how today was with FOMC, and then also kind of touching on one of the most popular questions people have been asked me is, why do I scalp Asia and why don't I take, longer term trades and what have you? So I wanted to touch on a few of those topics. First and foremost, the chart that I have up right now is a position that I'm holding on to, and I'm going long for. Um, and so, I mean, obviously we're doing superbly well right now. We're up 300 ticks already. I'm looking to hold this all the way up into the Asia opening print from Sunday night, right before we gapped down. So we'll see. I'm obviously willing to sell this sooner if I have to, but I'm going to let the chart do its thing for now. Ignore the sell stop there. Probably should move that actually. That was just me trying to make some room earlier when I was playing with the chart, but. There you go. A little bit more realistic. But anyways, as I was mentioning, for Asia session, my method has always been to scalp, 10, 15, 20 points, and that's generally it. And so when we had that gap down recently, I still scalped it. You can argue and say, Alan, you should have held it. You could have captured so much of it. I don't change my disciplines for how I trade just because the market's reacting differently today. I am basing it off of how the market on average or generally moves, right? So Asia, generally, if you actually take a look at the hourly or daily candles, the range that you're playing with isn't a significant amount, right? Like it doesn't often move quite large, right? So when you think about your probability of success, if the range for Asia only moves, 60, 100 points over the course of this entire period, trying to aim for a 50-point trade or a 60-point trade reduces your probability quite significantly because you're essentially saying that you want to capture 50% to 80% of its range of the day, right? And I just doesn't seem make like a lot of sense to me. So because of that, I've just built the system of going for, 10 to 20 points because that's a small enough piece that the probability of success rate for me is high, which is how I've been able to obviously capture and make those minimums that are needed for the prop accounts to get the payouts that I'd be getting. So when I go for the Asia session, that has been my tactic and strategy. And even when we gapped down on that Sunday night, I just basically took every single one of my accounts individually and scalped it one by one by one by one as it moved it down, right? And so I still got what I wanted. I still got all the points that I needed for every single account. I hit all the minimum balances. And on some of the accounts, I hit a little bit more than that just because the chart offered it. But again, I don't sway away from that. And I think that's so important. I shared this on my Instagram earlier today too, as well, about how, it's so important for us to know when to trade and when not to trade and to not change your strategy constantly just because the environment is constantly changing. And so I mentioned today that I took longs. I took longs, and you know what? I might be able to actually pull that part of the chart up. There was this morning over here. Yeah, so just over here. So we were consolidating here for a little bit, and I want to go for longs, right? And it did consolidate, it did hold, but it did in the end of the day fail on me. So I didn't get the move that I wanted, and I'm totally okay with that, and that's not going to change. I will not say that, oh, you know what? I'm never going to take longs at those levels. I'm never going to take longs at those channels ever again, just because it didn't work out today. I took a trade how I normally would take it, and based on the stats that I constantly show on IG as well, that I'm getting from Trade the success rate is like 60, 70, 80%. So I'm not going to let a day like FOMC suddenly steer my strategy and derail that, right? And I think it's important for us to understand that, that's what discipline is understanding that, hey, you know what, if I got a strategy that works for Asia, that works for London, that works for New York, just because there's a day with CPI, FOMC, or anything like that, don't let that impact you. If anything, learn to either avoid those days or avoid the news timeframes, right? That of when it comes out. So if there's going to be news coming out at 8:30 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, then it's probably the best idea to stay clear of that, unless you're looking to YOLO something, which again, I don't recommend if you're looking to discipline yourself in your trades. But anyways, I hope that kind of helps. If there's any other questions or comments that you felt like I didn't answer really clearly about how I trade the Asia session, feel free to obviously drop a comment below, and I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, best of luck. For now, I'm just going to continue to hold this and see where we go. Thanks, guys.